Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Raquel.
And this is the Whole Shebang Podcast. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode 35 of the Whole Shebang, where we are going to be talking about an anime that we both just watched called The Holy Grail of Eris.
And when you say just watched, literally just finished it like an hour ago.
Oh, see, I finished it last night.
I know you beat me to it.
So,
this is your spoiler warning. There will be spoilers in this episode.
Oh, 100% spoilers. We decided we were going to choose an anime for you guys and review it. We were wanting to watch it together, but our schedules just didn't align.
And at some point on Patreon, there may be the first episode of us reacting to it for you to watch.
So, continuing with that, what did you think of The Holy Grail of Eris?
Like overall?
Yeah, let's give an overall view of what we thought of the anime.
If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being my most favorite anime, which I don't even know what that is, and 1 being Fruits Basket, which I don't like.
You hate fruit baskets.
Oh, it's not that I hate it. I love the animation, the voice actors, everything's fine. It's just the storyline that drives me nuts. It's fine. I obsess over how angry I am about it. So that would be the worst. I think I would put it about a 7.
Okay, I could see that too, because that's where I would probably rate it, is around a 7.
It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't boring. I was entertained. I was overwhelmed most of the time I was watching it.
Yes, I was overwhelmed. I mean, for an anime, I don't like watching things that make me cry.
Yeah.
It did make me cry.
A little,
especially the ending. But it was a bittersweet ending. I do like how they wrapped it up.
Again, spoilers. I was a little angry with the ending. I think they should have just ended it with them walking off into the sunset holding hands. They did not need to bring her back.
A touching ending for one of your main characters, but considering it's an anime and we all know how dark animes can get, they could have just left it.
But also, I get they brought her back so they can set up whatever's going to happen next and keep it going. But I feel like they didn't have to do that here, because if there's never going to be a season 2, it would end perfectly like that. Okay, it's wrapped up. She was dead to begin with. Let her move on. That's a happy ending for a ghost. This just feels tacky. It's fan servicey. There was no need for it. If they're going to do season 2, they could bring her back at the start of season 2.
Yes. So I will say, for an anime, I did like how you can watch these 12 episodes and it feels like you have an ending. Because a lot of anime, I mean, minus the part where they brought her back, but in most anime that I watch, if it's one season and then they cut it, this felt very
final.
You could watch it straight through and be like, wow, you know what? That was a good anime. I enjoyed it, and then move on. It's not what's going to happen next, anything like that. So I did enjoy that bit of it, but definitely the ending.
It ruined the ending for me that they brought her back. I was I'm still satisfied. I'm not jumping to see if there's going to be a season 2 because I'm satisfied with the ending and I can live with it. But I'm just kind of ruined the really touchingness of her leaving the letter and thanking her for her help and visiting her grave.
No.
It was they had 2 minutes they had to fill with something, is what it felt like.
Yeah, and I mean, to have Pamela go and attack her at the end too.
Why?
I felt that was just why? Because she was dispatched of so easily. I mean, you could have started, if they are going to go into a season 2, with Pamela escaping from the hospital and then going to attack her.
Yeah.
And then when she asks for help again, that's when Scarlet comes back.
They just did that so that it would be similar to the beginning when she meets Scarlet. That's the whole reason why that happened. It's not good storytelling.
No. I did find, one of the main characters in this, Cece, I found her character really shallow. I would have liked to learn a lot more about her.
That's another one of my complaints. Why couldn't she just be evil? She worked so good as this two-faced villainess where you meet her and she's very sweet and kind, and then as soon as the mask falls, like they did that part really well where you see like her complete like switch. Why did we have to suddenly make her a noble hero at the end?
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked there to be more to it.
Yeah, it just felt very like we need to do something with this character, so let's just have this happen.
Well, and considering she held this grudge for
Ever?
years,
And
years and
also
years and
like
years.
she's portrayed throughout the show as like the main villain, right?
Yeah.
Like she is the face of the bad guys and she's untouchable, and then suddenly it's like they're just gonna kill her themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
It just
was,
the last like two episodes just like it went from being like here to like woo, a little bit.
yeah, a little bit. That's probably why I don't mark it as like a 10.
It was very
I did
rushed.
like all the action and the crime solving and the mystery.
I liked that too. I was getting confused because they kept introducing new people every single episode, and then they would jump back to those people like 3 or 4 episodes later after having nothing to do with them, and they all looked the same, and I had no idea who was who.
I didn't really care for the main character until the final episodes where she started growing a bit more of a backbone.
Yeah, I
But
think her progress as a character was done well.
but for me and the characters that I usually watch and I usually like, I don't like them whiny or damsel in distressy, and it happens
That's
a
the
lot.
that's the point though.
It was actually really hard for me to get into the anime. I think I watched 4 episodes, but I didn't get locked into the story until probably episode 6.
I liked her love story. Totally knew it was going to happen since they introduced the character. It was very obvious that that was going to
Oh,
happen.
100%.
It felt a little forced near the end when they're just like, okay, I love you, blah, blah, blah. But like, I think it was a pretty good progression of strangers to friends to lovers.
Yeah, I did feel it same as you, kind of stressed or rushed near the end.
Yeah, I think
Like they were trying to get the
three.
point across for that, and I would have liked a little bit more build up, but it wasn't a romance, it
No,
was a crime
I think
solving a mystery.
if they had 14 episodes, it would have felt a lot less rushed near the end of it.
Oh,
It
100%.
was like
Yeah.
all the plot happened in the last 3 episodes.
So I did really like Scarlet. Scarlet was one of my favorite characters.
Yes, me too,
And
obviously.
even with her death and things like that,
Mhm.
when you come to find out that her father and the king kind of orchestrated her death to prevent the war,
It's very tragic and upsetting, yeah.
it was. But for a story, I was like, oh, that's a good.
I was a little disappointed that she wasn't as angry as I thought she should have been. Like, I understand that she forgave him because she understood the point of why it happened, but I wanted there to be a little more anger.
But I don't know. Her character was really angry, and I feel in like episode 1 and 2, and then she kind of just
Lost.
mellowed out.
I was thinking her name was Lily, the girl with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, who's like Scarlett's friend, who ends up killing herself. I thought it would be really funny if poor Constance just keeps getting all these ghosts from all these people from Scarlett's past who have died are suddenly like, you need to avenge my death. And she's
I also really liked the priest.
oh yes,
I found him hilarious.
he's a little creepy.
He was so creepy. But when Scarlet enlists his help to save
Mhm.
Constance from getting beheaded, and she starts like debasing him, and he's like, yes, please do it more. I was like, you were put here for a reason.
Comedic relief.
Oh, I loved that. I found it so funny.
What did you think of the animation style?
The animation style was nice, actually.
Hmm.
I did enjoy it. They used a lot of softer colors.
Yeah, it was very muted, but I liked that because it kind of added to the aesthetic that they were going for.
Yeah. Well, it really made Scarlet pop
Hmm.
because she was so not muted, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of lore drop too. Like, you get a lot of background context, and I feel like that was part of what made me feel overwhelmed, that and not knowing who all these women were who just kept popping up and were suddenly important.
Mm-hmm. I
Mm.
will say it always does throw me off in anime too when they use more Western names. I don't know why.
Okay, I need to tell you something, and this is embarrassing, and you're all gonna laugh about this. So, the ghost girl's name is Scarlet, right? But when they say it, because Holy Grail of Eris is not dubbed in English, so when you're listening to it, they have a Japanese accent when they say Scarlet. It reminds me of the Minions when they say Scarlet Overkill in the Minions movie, and I cannot stop thinking that when I say her name. Just picture the little minions going, Scarlet Overkill! It's awful. It's really, really awful. And I wish they would dub it in English. I know.
But I feel like this one definitely wasn't one of like the top 5 released in the season.
Which I'm surprised. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's a little too dark is probably why it's not picked up. Because like you do see her beheaded.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
like solo leveling's doing so well, and like I don't know. It was a choice.
It was a choice. They will probably dub it later.
I hope so, because there's a lot of people who won't watch it in Japanese who would probably enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like that cuts off their viewership by a large amount.
Oh, yeah.
And
but yeah,
also,
I guess we'll just have to see. Definitely interested in some of the upcoming animes too.
Yeah, we have an episode about anime in general that's going to come out later this year.
Mm-hmm. We do. Well, I watch tons of anime. I have just recently caught up as well on Rent a Girlfriend.
Which is funny because who has the Crunchyroll account? It's fun because I can tell what you're watching it on. So it's like, oh,
Bailey's on her computer today. Oh, now she switched to the TV. Oh,
sometimes
now
I go and look and see what you've been watching.
Yeah, I did the same thing to you.
Mine's not that exciting. I watch a lot of things over again.
I do too. I mean, every now and again, I kind of want to click Fruit Baskets and just let it play in the background. You're currently watching list.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Oh yeah, there's a movie.
I enjoyed the first Fruit Baskets they made. I watched the first Fruit Baskets and I really liked it. And so when they came out with the newer one, I watched it all the way through. I was not a fan, again, of the main character because she was just very helpless. Annoying? So, and I didn't like who they chose for her in the end.
It would have been fine if there had been any buildup whatsoever to it. But they were really building up her with a different character, and then suddenly he was like, I see you as my mom! And I'm like, no. No. You don't get to do this.
Yeah.
Bring the hate, everybody. I get it. It's a cute
I mean, we
show.
are super excited. Iruma is a show that we both watch.
We'll be talking about it. Watch and read all of every single week, and now I get 2 days a week of Iruma. And I was so giddy about it this afternoon that I was cheering in my bed.
I need to catch up on the manga, but
there are a lot of
for the complete series, like this complete season to end before I start watching it all, because I know I'll get into it and I'll binge it. I did catch up on it. So
good. I mean, I'm caught up on the manga. I keep up every week. And where we're currently at is probably like the best Demon School Iruma has ever been at. So you need to catch up. We're getting like actual backstory, and there's so much more like world building, and you get to learn more about Demon Kings in general, and like, oh, it's great.
That's what chapter?
But I mean, probably 400 something now.
Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, I just finished Rent a Girlfriend because Rent a Girlfriend's also coming out.
I have not.
And that was something. It's very drama. And it's very animation style's gorgeous. I love the animation style. The main character I could do without because he's just a wuss. But
I've been watching or keeping up with Ascendance of a Bookworm, which is currently coming out.
See, they lost me when she went to the church.
That was when it picked up for me.
Yeah, no, they lost me with that. And I was like,
You're the one who made me watch it in the first place.
I know, but I didn't know they were going to send her to the church. I liked it in the beginning, and then they sent her to the church, and now they're all setting it up. I've heard things about them setting it up with the churchy guy. Yeah, from you. And I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a little cringy. I'm just pretending it's not a thing.
The only age gap I think I've ever been remotely okay with that like to that extent was The World is Beautiful, or The World Still Thinks It's Beautiful. It's an older anime, but there was an age gap, but I don't know. I was okay with that one. But not usually with like that many.
What if they're like
creepy
5,000 years old, but they look 15 and they're dating a 15-year-old?
See, you can ignore that when you watch it. The age
I like
gap.
that we're just talking about like what you're okay with. We might as well talk about Game of Thrones, Bailey. What type of incest is okay?
None. You saw how Jeffrey turned out.
Joffrey. Yes.
Joffrey.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Sorry to all the Jeffreys out there.
Yeah. Game of Thrones was fun.
Oh, so very fun.
One day we'll talk about that too.
Yeah. I need to rewatch it.
You need to watch House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Well, let me rewatch Game of Thrones first.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while.
Sorry, I got dog hair in my eye, everybody. It's still clinging on. So you may see me rubbing my eye a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, Holy Grail of Eris. Go watch it. It's very exciting. I like the plot lines. There's a lot of mystery. There's ghosts. Who doesn't love ghosts?
It is. You sound so very excited. Like, oh, go watch it. It's so nice.
Yeah, because I'm thinking. I feel like there should be more ghosts.
Well, maybe if they get a season 2, they will add more. I haven't looked it up.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. That just goes to show where it is sitting on our list, a 7.
Let's see what Google has to say. Season 2 has not announced a second season.
It could take a while. They might see how it picks up steam if it does.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, I quite like it, but I don't think it is going to pick up steam.
No, I don't either. Which is a shame, because it's very beautiful anime.
It is.
And it's a little gory, and I was very... I could feel myself being like, what's going to happen next?
You should watch Home Hero. It's not that traumatizing, but okay, guys, go watch Home Hero 2 if you like the mystery. This one's about a guy who's just protecting his family.
Yeah, just protecting his family.
And it does have that mystery sense, and
you remember
it's quite fun. I enjoy it.
You remember when you made me watch Solo Leveling for the first time, and we only watched episode 1, and I was so traumatized that when you made me watch Campfire Cooking in Another Realm with My Absurd Skill, that I could not trust any of the adventurers, even though it's a very wholesome anime and nothing bad ever happens like that, but I was ready for it. Any anime I watch that has adventurers now, I'm like, you're suspicious. That's your doing.
That's it happens in anime. They're like, oh, warm and fuzzy, dead. Everyone's dead.
Yeah, by a gigantic smiling statue.
Well, it's not my fault you get nightmares so easy.
Holy Grail of Eris gave me nightmares last night.
See what I mean? It gives you nightmares so easy. There's not even a lot of death. It's literally one person. Well, okay, a couple people. But they don't.
Nightmare.
What was I doing?
Being irritating.
Ah, yes.
Was
that a nightmare or just a memory?
So the nightmares were more like me walking around creepy buildings trying to find things and not be killed. But then I had a very distinct dream last night where Bailey, you and our friend Judy, who's been on the podcast, and your girlfriend were staying with me at my house. And you being you decided you would not take a bed because you were letting Judy and your girlfriend take my 2 bed options. And then you were going to sleep on the floor. And I was really mad at you for that. And I got home and you were like lying on the floor. And I was like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm sleeping on the floor because I'm a good person. But you had apparently gone through all of my stuff looking for an extra air mattress, which I do not own. And I got like really furious because I have another mattress. It's just under my bed, which is true. And I was like, you could just use this one instead of the floor. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess I could. And I was just so mad that you looked everywhere but the one spot where there's an actual mattress. And you're like in your little bed, just like on the ground.
To be fair, I have slept in one of your apartments on the floor before.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't so much as sound like a dream as like maybe something that will happen in the future, because I would go through all your stuff to try and find the air mattress and then not find it in the one place that I didn't look.
My bed is big enough we could share. You could listen to my snoring nice and close.
Yeah, it'll make it easier to smother you. Even the last time I was there, we had the door closed and I was in your living room and I could still hear you. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I contemplated murder.
My aunt was falling asleep to my snoring.
That's just so weird. I can't.
For white noise. She's like, by the way, you don't have sleep apnea, so you're doing good. I was like, okay, good to know.
I can't even sleep in the same bed as another person.
Yeah.
Because it wigs me so much.
Every time.
Yeah, or me look at you, because apparently I do that too.
Yeah, you do weird things in your sleep.
Only to you, apparently.
I'm sure we've talked about that on the podcast before.
I'm sure.
See, I feel like you would be my Scarlet. Floating around, nagging at me.
I think it would go the other way around.
Well, yeah, probably. Hi. You should avenge my death.
Accepting like Constance, though. Exorcism.
Rude.
Send her to the afterlife, please.
Rude. I can't get there unless you help me solve my murder.
There's like 2 other people who would have been able to see you, and I would have been like, can you just take her?
And that was also something in this anime where they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, other people can see ghosts too.
Like 2 of them, and the one Lily, or not Lily,
the kid,
yeah, the little girl, she could see the ghosts, and I was like, what is your point? I mean, I know why they brought her into the story was to have her be kidnapped to go with the prince,
and they're probably going to end up
the evil
married in a
queen
later thing.
Yeah, so it all tied in, but she really had no purpose in the story.
And also introducing all the like the political mess. Maybe I'm rating it lower than a 7. Maybe I'm putting it at a 6. It was just a lot.
I'll keep my 7.
It was a lot. I liked it. I was overwhelmed. I think if I watch it again, knowing what's going to happen and knowing a little bit more about who the people are, that would probably help.
Well, I'm thinking, so at the end, when the prince or whatever looks at the evil princess and was like, oh yeah, no, that's why, I married you, to keep an eye on her. The whole reason was Scarlet was killed. You found out about their whole mess.
Wasn't Scarlet angry because her engagement got called off to the prince so he could marry this princess in the first place? And that's what instigated her whole execution?
Yeah, wasn't that it?
Yeah, because
she did say she didn't love the prince.
No.
There was a specific scene in the anime where she was oh, they didn't love each other, but they were like siblings, like
it was
they
that
had that
classic,
type of love.
The beginning of it was that classic trope where it was like he's supposed to marry her, but then he disgraces her by choosing another woman publicly and she gets angry. And that's why everyone was like, oh, she's angry about the prince. So then technically the prince killed her.
Yeah.
But then like she wasn't really a political problem if she wasn't marrying the prince anyways. And if she was a political problem, why would you marry her to the prince in the first place? I don't. If I think about it too much, it's gonna...
It's an anime. Don't think. Just watch. Don't overthink things.
It did kind of throw me for a loop when they started using guns and I was expecting swords.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop too. It was just like all of a sudden gun. Oh,
Like
okay. It's that
grenades, and I
era
was like,
and grenades.
since when? Like, I thought we were like, medieval-ish.
Yeah, considering they're all in like horse and buggy. There was no technology beforehand on any of this. And then all of a sudden it's like guns, grenades.
And like everyone's dying via public execution or poison. And then suddenly it's like, oh, by the way, now we're shooting each other. Like, what?
Yeah. And the fact that when Scarlet was accused of trying to poison the princess or whatever, but the girl who ended up trying to poison the princess just used, it wasn't even poison.
Yeah.
It was like a diet drug. And it's like, so it's not poison.
It was very convoluted. Like, wouldn't the solution? So, okay, again, spoilers. And now we're actually going back to talking about the show.
This happens.
So, her dad and the king decide they need to kill her because it'll buy them time to solve this issue with some evil organization that's human trafficking and is trying to take over so that this other kingdom can come in and rule by proxy. But Scarlet's mother was a descendant of that other kingdom's first queen or something like that. And so she's a political pawn, essentially. Wouldn't it just make sense to marry her off to somebody in not a political power position? Like, maybe the fear is that she would have children and they would be used, but just, like, don't let her have children.
But then, isn't that what they do anyway? They could be like, oh, well, we need peace because we have a descendant. We've already married into your line.
Yeah. Or they
do
could
something like that.
Get her to marry into that family. Or, like, send her to the convent. Make her a nun. It's still better than killing her for no reason.
Yeah. Her death was pointless. But
there's a lot of things that don't make sense when you start thinking about them.
Yeah. So don't think about them. Start thinking about them, and it drops down to maybe a 5.
I feel like I need to rewatch it because I feel like I'm missing something.
With all the political stuff that they talked about in the thing, you would need to take notes.
And then it's like, okay, so-and-so is of this family, and they're the chosen royalty because they have X eye color. And I was like, wait, what?
And then, so they were saying, so in that one kingdom, their eye color, and then it was like, oh, only the 2 boys have the eye color.
Yeah.
But didn't the princess that they made into the queen have the same eye color?
She did, yeah. I'm wondering if the point was based on just the sons.
Maybe.
Because they weren't considering a woman as ascending the throne. But also, like, they introduced all this stuff in, like, the second last episode.
Yeah. But so what I found weird about that, too, is that one of the princes was already acting as, like, ruling king.
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, oh, no, he would have just killed his brother. But he surrendered the throne so easily. And it gave you none of those politics. Like, it was just like, oh, my brother kidnapped my other brother, and well, I guess now my sister can take the throne.
His sister wasn't even there because she was in the middle of all this other drama, pretending to be a commoner with some other girl who you learn absolutely nothing about. And they just show up 3 episodes to the end. What I mean, that was my biggest problem, was they're just like, here's this character, here's this character's drama, this is their entire backstory. And then it starts time skipping where you're learning about some of the other characters that you had met, like, in the second episode, and you're like, this is actually their entire backstory in this, episode 7. And it feels completely irrelevant, and I was like, I don't even remember when this happened.
Yeah, they did throw a lot at you at the end.
And the whole thing about the key and, like, her testimony didn't even add anything to anything. There was no new information.
Yeah.
It was like they're trying to layer mysteries on top of each other with, like, the overarching mystery of how she died and, like, why. But then they solved that one. And then it kind of felt like they're like, oh, we have all these other little things that were leading to it, so now we have to go somewhere with it. But it didn't really get you any satisfaction.
Yeah. And I mean, even with the princess or whatever, they had said there was the reporter that was like, I got to leave the country now. If she finds me, she'll kill me.
Yeah.
Because we found out that she's the daughter of some prostitute that a lord had. But then when we go into the backstory, it's not even the right kid. They just went and picked whichever one
would fit the role,
looked like it, and then threw them in there. So there was a whole other political scheme going on. So all of that was glossed over.
And also, like, they tell you the princess is the evil person the minute you meet her, pretty much. Like,
100%.
beginning, the princess is the bad guy. And I think it would have been more of a dramatic reveal if they had played it out as her being this, like, soft, kind-hearted princess a little longer. And us feeling like, oh, actually, maybe she wasn't in the wrong and she had nothing to do with this. And then you find out that, yeah, actually, she is the problem.
Yeah.
But then not even really, because she's reporting to people and there's people in charge of her. And you're like, you're the freaking princess.
The crown princess.
Yeah, you're married. You're going to be the queen of this country. And you're like, I hate this country for no reason. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was starting off as praise and now it's just going downhill.
So yes, that's a good point to end the episode, I think, before we lower our scores any further, really thinking about it.
It's very
I would
beautiful.
still say go watch it. Beautiful animation. Don't pay attention to the story, but don't like overthink it like we are.
Leave a comment explaining what I'm missing.
But if I do have to say, it is a great anime that you can watch in 12 episodes and feel satisfied with the ending.
Yeah, which is very rare. And it's very beautiful, so it's easy to watch.
So yeah, we'll wrap it up for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't, give us a like, subscribe maybe, and we will catch you all in the next episode. And until then, cheers. That's all for today. Catch us on Instagram, where we drop teasers for the next show, and our Discord account. Links are down below.